Assalamu alaikum, dear learners. Hope you are all safe and sound. Today I am here with past simple tense. Past simple tense is one of the elementary past tenses in the English language. I am going to show you how to form a past simple tense and when to use a past simple tense. But before we get started, it's good to know that in English language there are regular and irregular verbs, and it is advisable that you study the most commonly used irregular verbs. Now let's get started. Take a look at these sentences. We helped the poor people yesterday. The accident occurred last week. Both these sentences are in the past simple tense. How to form a past simple? For the regular verbs, we simply use the infinitive form of the verb and add ed after the verb. Let's look at the sentences. We played football. Panic seized me. I lived in Paris 20 years ago. Yuri Gagarin traveled to space in 1961. We faced a lot of troubles last year. For the plural forms, for regular verbs, you will find that the form of the verb are the same. Forms of the verbs are the same. Look at the sentences. We started for the village yesterday. You enjoyed the match. They crossed the river. Now we need to pay extra attention to verbs that end in an E, such as sees, leave, and face. And also we have here used a force. Look at the sentences. He died in 2006. The baker baked all his cakes yesterday. They forced her to do it. We also need to pay extra attention to verbs that end in a Y, especially those preceded by a consonant, such as cry, supply, purify, etc. For the consonants being a R, a L, and a F. Here the Y changes into an I. Let's look at the examples here. The baby cried the whole night. The forest of Amazon supplied most of the oxygen we need. The trees purified the environment. Now let's have a look at the irregular verbs. All irregular verbs have a unique past simple tense form. For example, I bought that car last year. Here the infinitive form is to buy. The police caught the thief red-handed. Here the infinitive form is to catch. He went to Dhaka for a deal. Here the infinitive form is to go. Now let's have a look at the past simple tense in questions. For all verbs, regular and irregular, we use the auxiliary verb to do, but we need the past simple tense, which is did, and the infinitive form of the verb. For example, did Ali buy the cell phone this morning? Did you attend the meeting yesterday? Did they come to Bangladesh last year? For the past simple in negations, regular and irregular, we also use the past simple tense of the auxiliary verb to do, which is did, and we add not to it, contracting it into didn't plus the infinitive form of the verb. For example, I didn't watch TV last night. We didn't enjoy the match this morning. They didn't see the manager yesterday. Past simple in use. Let's have a look at the past simple tense in use. We use the past simple tense for things that have happened at a specific time in the past. So we need to know when it happened. For example, long ago, there lived a queen named Shiva. They left this place this morning. There raised a storm in the sea a few days back. Then, look at these sentences. We also use the past simple tense in questions after when. Let's look at the examples. When did you call me? When did they reach the station? Now, we use past simple tense as verb to be, was and were. Let us look at the examples here. One day, a crow was very thirsty. Once upon a time, there were 3 sisters. And we also use past simple as verb to have. Let's look at the examples here. They had a beautiful palace in 1990s. The city of Baghdad had a rich empire in 10th century. Did you have a cell phone in 1991? Thanks for your attention.